Okay, I'm going to be changing my drum head for a snare drum. This snare drum actually has a brand new head that was just put on it. Unfortunately, our band director just changed all of the new heads on the drums, so I had this bell kit laying around and it has a new head on it, but I'm going to show the process of how to take it off and put it back on. So the first step, according to your video, is to go ahead and put tape on the counter hoop and the lug casing so I can identify where to put the head back on. And I noticed on this one I actually have a little bit of a symbol here that will help me to line up. I do have tape for that, so I can mark it. Okay. Next, I'm going to loosen the tension rods. I know that at this point I do not want to remove them from the rim. Simply just want to loosen them up enough. I noticed that some of the rods are already a little bit tighter than others from a previous user. So some of these are going to require a little bit more loosening, but I'm going to try to do them as evenly as possible. So they're all loosened, all the tension rods are loose at this point. So I'm going to now remove the counter hoop and I'm going to try my best to keep all of the lugs in. And I have to say, as a string player, it's a little nerve-wracking to change a drum head. Getting close. I'm going to add another piece of tape. I see that one of my pieces of tape did not get aligned correctly here, so before I get too far along, I'm going to go back and fix that. I must say, you made this look way easier in your video. So I'm going to try to do this as gingerly as possible. Okay, so we have removed the rim at this point, and I'm going to kind of set it off to the side. Okay, one thing I failed to mention in the very beginning, I did measure from the inside of the rim using my tape measure, the inside of the rim to the other side, and this one is measuring at 13. That's what I'm getting for this drum head size. So since I'm using the same one, obviously it's a little bit different, but if I were to purchase, that's how I would measure it. So at this point, we're going to do a cleaning of the drum, wiping down the insides. I can check the inside of the drum to make sure that all of the screws are tightened properly. As you mentioned, if there was a buzz or some sort of a sound that was creating some obstruction to the regular sound of the drum, could be due to something being loose inside. So this one's pretty clean. It has not made it to the high school yet, so it doesn't have the high school grime on it. Also, from the videos and posts that I've read, it seems like for every drum it's very important to keep this ridge very clean and smooth and free of debris, much like in string playing, how we have to clean the surface area of the bridge and peg areas. So I'm just going to wipe this down a little bit more. Everything inside here is very tight. No buzzing, nothing seems to be rattling. So we're in good shape on the inside of this. At this point, you would put on your new drum head. For me, I'm going to realign and try not to mess up how this was. Okay, and we're going to take counter hoop and put it back on, and I'm going to keep my tape aligned. Again, you made this look very easy on your video. I'm sure I'm probably not quite as delicate here in my alignment. Try my best. Okay, so at this point, as you mentioned, very important that keeping the alignment at the top and just going around and lightly finger tightening. At this point, we just want to make sure everything is getting to the right hole. I apologize for my video angle. My husband is actually in school right now as well, so I'm working on a camera by myself. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to finger tighten around. Okay, I'm going to take my drum key at this point and begin to do a little bit of the cross tension tuning technique that you mentioned. On the drum that I saw in your video, it had 6 of the lugs. Mine actually has 8. So by using context clues here, I'm going to start, if I were to start with 1 here, then I'm going to go across to the opposite side and move around just like you did, so that I'm always working opposite. So I guess if this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to go to 5 would be my guess. So I'm going to just do a little tighten, trying to do the same amount. And then this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, so 2 and 6. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, so 3 and 7 together. And then lastly 4 and I guess that would be 8, 4 and 8. Okay, and I'm going to repeat this a little bit because right now it just sounds like sort of a piece of cardboard being hit. And the reason we don't want to tune with one side all at the same time is because I believe it would offset and it would cause maybe some warping or misalignment. So by doing it this way, we're keeping everything even. And if it was a new head, we would be stretching evenly across the entire head. Again, sort of like string playing. When we tighten strings, we would not want to just go and tighten instantly up to a G, let's say, for our lowest string. We would want to get everything semi-close and then work our way up to actual 440 pitch. These are starting to feel a little bit tighter now. So I'm just going to do a small turn. And as you mentioned, if I feel one that feels a bit looser, then I can give a couple extra turns to that. So now it sounds a little bit more like an actual drum. The next step would be to seat the drum head, which is sort of like the CPR method here. So we're going to actually push down and let that catch. And again, since mine is a bit stretched out already, you probably would not have to do this quite as much as you would with a new drum. Really apply the pressure there. And then we're going to go back and continue the tightening. I feel that this one's a little bit looser, so I'm going to just do a little extra turn there. Sounds like a drum. And I know we're going to learn more about pitch and tuning, so at this point I'm just going to get it close to how it originally sounded. And voila, we have it lined back up how it was. My tape I can take off at this point. And that's it.